Well, it's the weekend now. Here we are on Saturday, and I just wasn't in a playing mood today. It's been a long week. I've got some business stuff to take care of today. I'm sorting some things out for the clubhouse and just a bunch of things. So I've had a lot of questions during this whole thing about like the TV themes that I worked on. So I thought I'd just throw a whole bunch of these in and just kind of give you a sampler of the stuff that I've worked on in that. The My longest relationship when it came to all that was with Mike Post. Now, I was in a band in 1967 called Group Therapy, and Mike Post ended up producing us. I don't know how the connection came about, but it might have been through I think the group was signed to Canterbury Records, and that that was all an interesting bit of time there because Canterbury Records was owned by a guy named Ken Handler. Now, Ken's parents owned Mattel Toys, and Ken had a sister named Barbie. So in real life, Ken and Barbie are really brother and sister. It's a bit of trivia there for you. But so Mike produced us, and at the time he was the musical director for the Andy Williams show on television. He was really young. I mean, he was still in his 20s. And he had produced, Mason Williams had a huge hit with a song called Classical Gas, and Mike produced that. And Mike was kind of the tail end of the Wrecking Crew. There are pictures of him on sessions playing guitar, and it's a trip. But so Mike and I go way, way back. When we did our Group Therapy album, our band wasn't allowed to play on the record. We were, young and inexperienced. So we went into United A Recorders on Sunset in Hollywood, and I get to the studio and I look through the window, and there's the Wrecking Crew. There's Hal Blaine one day, Earl Palmer the next, Carol Kay and Bobby West playing bass, Mike Rubini, Mike Melvoin, and Larry Knechtel were all playing keyboards. Jim Gordon was the percussionist. Al Casey and Dennis Budimir were the guitar players. I mean, it was like the A-list of A-list players from the Wrecking Crew. And it's funny, I sat there because I had never really been in the studio before at that point. And I'm looking through the window just kind of thinking, I could never do this. I was still in college and everything. And I thought I could never do this. And 3 years later, pretty much, I was playing with these guys every day. And Al Casey, saw an interview of him, and he was laughing about the old days, and he said, "Yeah, it was really funny. We did a record, and like Lee Sklar was in the group, and they wouldn't even let him play on the record." But I wasn't ready to play on the record. I had never experienced it, and the songs were kind of complicated in terms of arrangements and stuff, and it was good to have these guys and gal on the dates. So eventually, I reconnected with Mike, and he had partnered with an arranger named Pete Carpenter, and Post and Carpenter did a lot of shows. They worked together until Pete's passing. Pete was a lot older than Mike, and but we worked constantly. We were in the studio every week doing all these different shows, and it was really amazing. We always had a great. Sometimes it was a small group, sometimes it was a large orchestra. Really depended on the show. But we would do the theme songs, and then we would be in doing all of the inner music for the shows. One of the things I really thought was really incredible about Mike is he had studied conducting, and he was probably one of the best conductors I ever worked with in the studio. He was so definitive in how he did things. His direction was like just dead on. I always appreciated it, and he took great pride in his conducting. But it was interesting. I mean, sometimes he would. I've got a handheld going here with this. Sorry if it's jiggling a bit. Sometimes he would be like writing charts, or he would just have gotten them on the way to the studio, and like go out to his car, and it would smell like a cat box in there, all the ammonia from the printing. was just reeking in the car. But so I'm just going to play snippets of a whole bunch of the shows we did. And these are all shows I worked on with Mike Post. And it was Larry Carlton played on this stuff, Dan Ferguson, Mike Baird played drums on tons of these. Willie Ornelas played drums. Always had great horn section, great string players. Sid Sharp at the time was the concert master on most of these shows, and he always had a great orchestra put together for these. Great percussionists. I mean, everybody on these things was amazing, and they were really a joy to do, and I miss those days. So here, let's start here with the Rockford Files.
Full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
I love this show. Tommy Morgan playing harmonica. Okay, that's the Rockford Files. Great Tommy Morgan playing harp on that harmonica. And he played on lots of shows. One of the finest. I mean, he did orchestral concerts. One of the best harmonica players in the world. So that's that. And then we come down to Hill Street Blues. I think this is Larry Carlton playing guitar on this. I'll recognize it when we get to it. This is Larry. That's guitar. I'm right in the middle of filming. Sorry for the interruption. Then we went on to the A-Team. So here we go with the A-Team theme. we got next up here? You'll recognize this one if you were digging TV back in those days. This is Tom Selleck and Magnum PI. Magnum PI. And then we come to Hunter. This was, I mean, some of these shows they were just all similar in terms of what the shows were all about and stuff. The thing that was fun was when we did these, it was always like, the inner music was always great because there was always a lot of chase scenes, so that we had really extended stuff, and it was really quite involved. And some of them were just really moody little bits, but there was a lot of writing involved in these shows, and Mike ended up with a whole team of writers that worked with him on these shows because it was a lot of music to be done. So here's the Hunter theme. Stop it. Okay, that was Hunter. And now we change gears a little bit here and we go to, here, let me get down here and kick start. And here is LA Law. LA Law. What do we got next here? This is a show called White Shadow, about a basketball coach. It's more popping in that than I've ever done in my entire career. Jesus. Okay, this is a song that was used in several contexts, but it actually really did well on the charts. And this is the theme to Greatest American Hero, I believe. Oh, no, this is School's Out from Richie Brockelman. I'll be getting to Greatest American Hero. So this is Richie Brockelman. There were so many of these shows. Let's see what's going on here. Right, Beach Boys.
Sun's coming up and the days are getting longer. No doubt.
This was a Private Eye show.
California girls got the feeling stronger. Everybody's hanging around. The wind is strong and the surf is steady. Everybody's playing it down. Trying to be cool, but you know they're ready.
That's that. Richie Brockelman. Oh, and this was Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula show. Get down here and hit this one. Quantum Leap. And then there was a show, Wise Guys. Now, the thing that was great about doing these shows was there was a lot of work for a lot of musicians. And that was really great. As TV themes and things evolved, budgets went way down. And a lot of times the guy would get hired and he would do it all himself, sitting at home on his synth. So all the musicians were basically unemployed from doing all of that. And it sucks because it was something really great about all the energy. Even though you're just doing TV shows, I would never say just even TV shows. Some of the music on those shows was really great, and some of the internal writing was really amazing. But it's the nature of the beast. Things move on, economics settle in, and then you deal with it. So here's the theme to Doogie Howser. Doogie Howser. We continue on. Cop Rock was a really weird show. It was a police show, but they always would break into song in the show. It was kind of like a penny opera and a cop show. But here's the title track we did. Randy Newman.
Precious memories of years gone by. Eyes of darkness, fear and pain. All the time that we had.
There's Mike Post sitting there playing piano.
When all that's left is a photograph. Someone golden moment in the sun. To hear what had to be done, living under the gun.
It was a weird show. It lasted a short time, but it was an interesting concept, let's just say that. This show is NYPD Blue. Some of these levels are so different. Moody. It's very moody. Big drum break. What do we got here? Hardcastle and McCormick, another show we did.
Listen to the floor till the engine screams. Drive, driving like the demon that drives your dreams. You're on a hard road, nobody cares. If you hit the brakes, you got to think fast, keep it in gear. What's left, all it takes. You gotta keep your wheels on the straight and narrow. If you wanna survive.
These are all just such a trip going back. Here's a show. This was called Silk Stockings, Stalkings. It's like cop soft porn or something with this show. What do we got here? Baba Black Sheep. This was a World War II drama with William Conrad. No, not William Conrad. What's his name? Did the Wild Wild West. Oh, just dig the theme. Robert Conrad. Yep. you always have to have a lot of snare drum cadence from it. Baba Black Sheep. What do we got next here? This was not Mike Post. I forget who composed this now. I'd have to look it up. This was another show called Simon and Simon that I worked on. And then we come to Alf. I thought the thing that was so great about Alf was that the music was written by Alf Clausen. What are the odds of that? This is the third season. The first two seasons were all synth, and then they went more organic on the third season. So here's the theme to Alf. Okay. So that's a bunch of the TV shows that I've worked on. We did the theme songs for them, and generally I'm getting a cramp in my hand holding this damn stick. God. But I really enjoyed it. Man, first off, your reading chops are really strong. Once when you're really immersed in this, you're reading every day. And some of the stuff's incredibly simple, and some of the chase scenes were incredibly difficult. I worked on a movie called Hollywood Homicide, and it was a chase scene in that was composed on synth as far as the bass part goes, and then when it was printed out, it was almost impossible. It was a Harrison Ford movie. And when we were doing the dates, we were coming up to this chase scene, and it was my friend Kenny Wilde was playing upright bass on the thing, and I was on electric. And when we took a look at this, they broke for lunch, and everybody went to lunch, and I stayed behind to try to figure this part out because it was so hard. And as Kenny's walking by, he just looks at me and goes, "Better you than me." It's like, yeah, they just all smiled and went to lunch. And I finally got it, and when they came back, we did it, and I told the composer, I asked him if he would sign the music for me, because it was like 6 pages of just intense black notes. It's like somebody spray painted it, and he signed it, and all he wrote on the thing was, "I'm so sorry." It was like great. But doing the film and movie stuff has always been one of my favorite things. Working with all these great composers, from Alan Silvestri to Elmer Bernstein to Jerry Goldsmith. I mean, you kind of name it. And there's something so magic when you get in a room with that many musicians. It's really something quite special. So that's it for today. I'm going to just kind of chill. I need a day to kind of relax. I've got just some phone calls to make and things like that. But I thought this would just give you a taste of, the other side of what guys like me end up doing, the bread and butter stuff, and the consistent stuff. And isn't much of it anymore. Those days are behind us. But I'm glad I was there for him. It was kind of the golden age of all of that. So take care, stay safe, give thoughts to all of the people out there working. I get notes back now from like guys writing to me going, my wife's a nurse, everything you say is so on the money. This is not to be taken lightly by any means. Things are really looking pretty bleak out there as far as numbers and deaths and stuff. So take care of yourself, take care of your families, and take care of your friends. And I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see if I'm playing, or if maybe I'll just do like an Andy Warhol thing, and I'll set the camera up and maybe sleep for 20 minutes on the hammock and film that. I'm going to go like ooh, that's pretty weird. So, okay, you guys, this is kind of nice just having the two screens here. I'm glad to be able to do this. I've got to get a clip to hold this thing because I think my hand is paralyzed now. So talk to you later.